And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys, hope you're all well. Before we do get into today's video, as always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. Guys, in today's video, as always, we are going to be going through all the latest Liverpool news from the last 24 hours. That includes a shock Premier League revelation that will impact Liverpool. But first guys, as we stated earlier, Liverpool have all but guaranteed their place in next season's Champions League, following Tottenham's 3-2 loss to Arsenal, barring a huge goal difference swing. While the Reds are widely considered out of the title race as they sit 5 points off leaders Arsenal with 3 games to play, they are now all but safe in the top 4. This comes after Tottenham's failed comeback attempt in the North London derby on Sunday, fighting back from 3-0 down to only lose 3-2. Liverpool now just need 1 point from the remaining clashes with Tottenham, Aston Villa and Wolves to guarantee qualification for the new expanded Champions League. They are likely to have already done so, however, given their goal difference advantage over Spurs, with Liverpool on plus 41 and Tottenham on plus 15. It means that only way in which Tottenham can still beat Liverpool to the Champions League is if Tottenham will win all of their remaining 5 games, Liverpool will lose all of their remaining 5 games, and the goal difference between the two sides swings by 27. While it's not impossible, it's certainly unlikely, with Tottenham still to play Chelsea away, Liverpool away, Burnley at home, Man City at home, and Sheffield United away in the space of 3 weeks. Even then, Aston Villa would need to win all 3 of their remaining games and swing their goal difference by 21. Arsenal and Manchester City have already booked for next season's Champions League, with only Liverpool, Aston Villa and Tottenham in the running for the final 2 spots. Neither Liverpool nor Aston Villa can finish below 5th, with clubs below them still technically in the fight for European spots. Next Champions League will be the first since UEFA announced its expansion on a 36-team competition with no group stage. The group stage will be replaced by a league format, which will the clubs playing 8 fixtures before the Champions League, then separate for the knockout phase. While the top 8 teams from the league setup will go straight into the last 16, the remaining 8 spots will be determined by a 2-legged playoff between those who finish 9th to 24th. Teams who are eliminated from the league setup by finishing 25th and below will not enter the Europa League, as was the case in the previous group stages. So there you go. If this week has been a bit doom and gloom for you, we are back in the Champions League. Whilst it's probably not what we were going to be celebrating come the end of the campaign, it's probably not what we expected to be celebrating come the end of the campaign, our remit is all but done, and that is pretty much our season over. The highest we can finish really now is 3rd, unless something drastic happens in the final 3 games between the other 2, which I don't expect to happen. But for us now, guys, it's Champions League football next season and preparing for the new campaign. Now, speaking about changes, guys, yes, the Premier League is set for a shock revelation. Yes, they're changing things once again, as a meeting is going to be held today. A vote in principle on the cap, which was to restrict top teams' spending on transfer wages and agents, is expected to be taken at the Premier League shareholders meeting in London today. Premier League clubs will be asked to support the proposal for a cap on spending for the first time. The proposed cap, called anchoring or tethering, would result in the top teams being restricted to spending on transfers, wages and agents, a proportion of the amount that the bottom club receives in the TV money. The idea is to try and ensure the Premier League remains competitive instead of being dominated by 1 or 2 super rich clubs. A vote in principle on the cap is expected to be taken at the Premier League shareholders meeting in London today, with further discussions over details such as the size of the cap taken before the AGM in June. 14 out of 20 votes would result in the proposal being passed. The Premier League has already agreed to replace its profitability and sustainability rules from the 2025-2026 season with a squad cost control, which will result in the club being limited to spending 85% of their total revenue on wages, transfer payments and agent fees. Anchoring would fix a ceiling on that spending and is generally being supported because of the fears that clubs with the highest revenue, especially with more money coming in for the new Champions League format, would have too much of an advantage over the medium and smaller teams. It also being supported by those who fear the potential spending power of the state-owned clubs. Clubs are expected to be assured that the cap would not cause any of them to reduce spending from their present level. Last season, Manchester City had the largest wage bill of £423 million and spent the most on agents with £51.5 million. City's amortization figure, the amount spent on transfer fees spread across the length of their contracts, was £145 million, according to the most recent accounts. Official Premier League figures from last season show the bottom club Southampton were paid £104 million of TV money, a cap of 6 times that figure would be £624 million, just more than the £620 million total City spending. At least one club's figures believes the anchoring cap should only be tied to wages, though other fear that would encourage clubs to use offshore payments to try and bypass the rule. There is also expected to be debate over whether anchoring cap should be linked to the total TV income or just the amount the bottom clubs receive from domestic broadcast deals. So there you go, guys. Changes on the horizon. Again, it will impact Liverpool, of course, especially going under our new owner. We'll be looking to do some wheeling and dealing in the summer. But in terms of a